What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association, and I also co-host and co-produce the only online show for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Ryan Knight.
Hey, good day, Dr. Vibe. I am praying for consistent heat. It's been amazing in July, so keep the oven going. For those that might not know why I love the heat, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the founders of Detailing Nights. So we do mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And we're excited to announce we are doing our next recruitment for the Youth Entrepreneurship Program. So we have an August cohort. So some started in July, some started in June, and now we're bringing in the last bunch in August. So if you know a teenager, young adult might be struggling to find a job this summer, definitely let them know about this opportunity. We can show them that they have the potential to start their own business. So if you go to our website, detailingnights.ca, you'll see the registration for the info session, and it's today, Friday, August the 1st at 6:30. So this evening, we're going to talk about what it's like to learn to start your own business. And if you're interested, you can sign up for the training starting on Monday, August the 4th, in the evening as well at 6:30. And then training is each day in the evening at 6:30. So looking forward to seeing you then.
Man, you got that all in one breath. Wow, that was like a dump truck, boom, all in one shot.
Yes.
What's been going on?
No, setting up for that. We have the students that we're currently working with training. So it's always interesting getting their ideas when we're doing our brainstorming sessions for marketing ideas and different ways to, post online. And I'm trying to do better. So TikTok, we're getting a bit more posts there, more activity. Also, we have a Snapchat account now. So we're going to see if we can be consistent there. But yeah, it's been cool for the summer. And like I said, the heat is definitely something you have to pay attention to. And I'm hearing even in Toronto, they're closing the indoor pools because it's so humid inside of the building. And then I was like, I know it gets hot. Like when you go to an indoor pool, you feel it, but then you're jumping in, right? So the lifeguards are struggling, but now they're just saying it was a mechanical thing. So as long as they get that fixed, I'm hoping the pools open back. But drink your fluids, have your water, take breaks. Do not try to be a champion and push through the heat. The heat will beat you. So take time to drink your fluids.
Well, yeah, you were mentioning that, and I was listening a little bit on the radio this week. They said that we're now in August, but this past July in Toronto was the hottest July we've had in the last 5 years. So, paraphrasing a Stevie Wonder album from the past, hotter than July. Can August be hotter than July? But yeah, it's been really hot, and yeah, we had a bit of rain, I think, a day or so ago, but it's supposed to be dry again all this weekend.
Okay. Wow.
With good weather. We were and Fitness IQ says morning, and she also says, and I love it. She loves the heat.
Nice.
We were chatting this weekend in Toronto is Caribbean festival called Caribana, which I call Ameribana.
Yes, shout out to the Caribana folk.
Yeah, and Ryan, you were saying before we went on lunches, and funny, I asked Ryan about Caribana, and he said, "Oh, is it this weekend or next weekend?" He didn't even know if it was this weekend.
I haven't seen one advertisement. I know it's typically the holiday weekend, so Monday's supposedly a holiday, but it's like a half holiday with the civic holidays. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't watch as much network television, I guess, where ads might be, but on social feeds, I guess you have to know. Like if you don't, I thought they would want to promote and get people out and run some ads on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn, but I'm not seeing much promotion about like who is there a sponsor this year for?
I have, well, interesting enough, I received an email yesterday from a PR company inviting me to a Caribana event this afternoon.
Mhm.
For and they're not the only one, but why do so many event coordinators email people in media the day before?
Right, we knew Caribana was coming from last year. Like,
The day
right,
before. And first of all, they
Mhm.
invited me to something the day before, which is probably not happening.
Right, right.
Second of all, I think it's downtown. That probably didn't happen
Mm.
with me either.
Yes, exactly.
But the day before.
Right.
And I'll just make a general comment. Most of the things that I'm invited to, media wise, I'd say at least 75 to 80% of the invites are the day before.
Ooh, yeah, we have to do better because that's where they feel like people aren't planning out or scheduling, their week or their month to say like, hey, I know where I need to be and when. And when it's the next day, that like it's a hail mary, and
Yeah,
you
like
hear nothing, and you want to go downtown and everything. It's yeah,
I,
especially because when I see empty space on my calendar the next day, I already feel so good that I'm doing nothing. Then something tries to insert
yeah.
itself, and you're just like, man, I've already checked out of that day. That space is staying empty.
Well, as I tell people, no is a complete sentence.
Hey, valid.
Again, if you're an event coordinator, and I'm just saying here, wouldn't you like people to show up? Wouldn't it be best to invite them as much ahead of time?
Yes.
You know, so some more comments here. Fitness IQ Cam says baking mostly, but give me the heat. All right. She
Got it.
says, I just didn't know about the kiddies carnival. And then
Yeah,
frequency of
that's from 2 weeks ago, right?
yeah, I think so. Frequency of event promotions says, and good morning. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a caravan advertisement on TV. Maybe because it makes the city in 1 week and over $300 million approximately. Well, now one of the local media outlets in the past has done a broadcast live of the parade. I
Yes, 24 or City
Yeah,
TV or
I don't know
something.
if I have no idea if they're doing it. I have no idea. Again, I don't watch a lot of TV, but the little I watch, I'd probably encounter it. So I have heard nothing.
And that's a channel that we typically watch. Like we check the weather in the morning, and so they would usually have people from the mass cams come on and
Yeah.
promote stuff. If I just missed it because I know it's 24-hour news cycle, but I've totally not seen any. I mean, oh my gosh, Caribbean Vibrations TV with Alan P. Arthur. They did a festival, so the Caribbean Vibrations Festival.
Oh, but
And
another thing, I didn't know. I didn't know anything about that.
see, and that was, I mean, right downtown. So the advertising and getting the word out, I feel
Uh,
we could do better just to make sure that people are aware way ahead of time to plan ahead.
okay, so we have some updates here. Fitness IQ Cam says CPTV will be at the parade. My grandma mentioned it last night, or grandmother mentioned it. All right. And
Yeah.
then Frequency of Promotion says CP24 usually does live coverage. Yeah. But then I was in a conversation with someone yesterday and they said, Dr. Vibe, have you heard any ads for Jerk Fest? I said, nothing.
When is that?
I think I do. I know it isn't this weekend, but it's coming up. I've heard
Oh,
nothing.
gotcha. Yeah. Have I heard anything about Jerk
But
Fest?
now, is it
I think
that
so.
these platforms are relying more on social media than traditional media? Don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, the algorithm. You're at the mercy of the algorithm if you only rely on social media.
All right. So Fitness IQ Cam says she watches the news. I think you left off the S. She watches the news. So there you go. So maybe we have a new roving reporter. Fitness IQ Cam's grandmother is going to do some reporting for us. But yeah,
Yes.
there's so many things to chat about. I mean, uh, we'll
Mm.
do it quickly, but we will be broadcasting live on Monday, even though it's a civic holiday. Uh, Canada now 35% tariffs.
Oh, so we didn't meet the deadline, right? It was August 1st, so 35%.
Tariff
Okay.
to the U.S. And that's a whole other conversation topic. Funny enough, though, Mexico hasn't had any increased tariffs. It seems that Mexico is the only country that's getting, but you notice China hasn't done anything.
Okay. Very quiet, eh?
Well, they've put the U.S. has pushed back the deadline for China to August 12th. So I think I don't know if it's, I have a feeling more the U.S. really wants China on board, but 35% tariffs now on Canadian goods going into the US.
Okay. Well, I'm curious if I guess the powers that be in Canada would take this as a win, only because remember initially it was 50% that had been threatened this whole time. It started at 25, then it went up to 50, and if you're saying it's now landed at 35, do you take that as a win, weather
Yeah,
out the next 3 years,
but
then
47,
renegotiate?
47 may even rise it higher.
But that's you're
You never know
asking.
with him. Yeah, you never
It's
know.
like he can pull this out of his butt anytime
Yeah,
he wants. Like that's why I'm trying to think or they wouldn't push back, because if you push back, he can just go willy nilly anywhere.
yeah.
If it makes it feel
He's
like a win,
he's very
then
unreliable. He's
yeah.
very and unpredictable. And I hear what he's saying too. But also, it will also impact people in the U.S. too.
Oh yeah, back and forth with the border, people don't realize how much transactions happen, like the dollar amounts, and even buying things because we're buying from there and they're buying from us. Everything is gonna get railroaded at the border. Right now, things are getting paused, and now they're gonna add these additional charges. It's gonna be interesting to see maybe 2 years from now when you look back how much transactions have reduced, and then what companies are actually still around. Because if they can't pass on the charges to their customers, and they can't weather that amount of increase because it's going to take away from their profits, people are just going to have to close their doors.
Yeah. So, Jerk Fitness IQ Cam Jerk Fest is next week. Thank you.
So where is it? Can you let? Is that
I
you
think
at
it's on
September?
the Tobico. I think it's the Tobico.
Oh,
She goes, I only know about Jerk Fest because my friends would have volunteer. Okay. And Fitness IQ Cam also says KMT 35% fire. Yep. 35%. And producer Matt says, I'm really looking forward to the trade between the provinces opening up. I need some Bear Claw soda from Alberta.
oh wow! What, they're not allowed to sell it in Ontario?
I have no idea. I've never heard of
That's
that product.
weird.
No, they're not. Producer Matt is just shaking his head in the green room. Says, no, they're not allowed. All right. Well, let's put a pin on this part of the conversation because we'll certainly talk more about it on Mix Up Monday coming up this Monday. But in a few moments, we're going to have Wayne Harris coming up with us. Also, we're going to do another Detailing Nights giveaway before the top of the hour. So we'll make sure we fit that in. And let's go to break and we'll come back with Wayne Harris. What is up, everybody? It is Dr. Vibe here, and this is Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala.
It feels like every 10 years we find ourselves trying to venture into some kind of war.
He continues to get away with absolutely everything. And when that happens, that limits our power as well.
He shouldn't be able to do this without asking Congress.
I have to catch my breath.
All right, Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Looking forward to what they have to say after the past week of what's been going on in U.S. government and politics and culture. And I think one win for 47 is no one's talking as much about Epstein right now.
Well, and that's where he realizes he can use these tariffs. And look at that. All that stuff starts happening with Epstein. Then all of a sudden he becomes very unresponsive with trying to get a deal for the tariffs, because now when that hits, everybody's going to be talking about, oh, what percentage. So shifting the narrative, distraction, they need to keep the pressure on. Now that all these videos of him at his old pageants are coming out, I hope people do not let this get swept under the rug, because he needs to be held accountable, or at least just let that investigation go and stop blocking it?
Well, the challenge. See, well, you know what? We'll stop right here because we can go on forever and ever. Let's just stop right here with that. We'll parking lot it until Monday, unless Mr. Harris wants to bring it up. But before we get to that, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Yes, we're on Substack today, and I'm also starting to post a lot of replays on the Substack platform. Also, join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com or click on the link that you see on your screen. I'll be putting it in all the chat platforms, comment section, provide, advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm on. Email me. And then finally, Indie Soup TV, Dr. Tachi's incredible independent content creators platform that is, I got to check, I've been checking, they've got to be near 28,000 subscribers in about 18 months, which is incredible. Remember, only 4% of all YouTube channels has over 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, and did you see that Instagram now won't let you go live if you don't have 1,000 followers?
What?
I think it just launched today because I went live yesterday because I
Yeah.
was like 500.
Yeah.
And it gave me the notice. It's like, hey, be aware that things are
Wow.
changing. You need 1,000. Today, you no longer have access to Instagram.
Well, I didn't hear about. Okay, Ryan. After the show today, write down a list of things you want to talk on Monday because we got a whole pile of things.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, I have never been a big person broadcasting live on Instagram. For me, it's not really a broadcaster, but there's a lot of people who don't have a setup like my own and other content creators who want to broadcast on Instagram. They can't do that. That's not a good thing.
Yeah. So, well, I guess they're trying, like how YouTube before, they kind of encourage you to get to 1,000, like hit certain milestones.
The milestone with YouTube and 1,000 subscribers, it opens up more features. But you don't have to have a certain subscriber account to broadcast live. This is why I've always said, unless things change, the best platform to broadcast on is YouTube.
Makes sense. Yeah.
They have been video from day one.
True.
Unlike other platforms, like even Facebook now, if you do Facebook Live, it only keeps it up there now for 30 days and they delete it.
Wow. And they started sending out those emails like, hey, we're changing the way we hold on to Facebook Live. Your stuff's about to get deleted. So go download it. And
so for those who are watching live or on the replay on Monday show, bring some topics to chat about because we talked about it this past Monday. We had Emma on talking about Shannon Sharp.
Right.
Now, Shannon Sharp since then has been fired from ESPN, and there's another lawsuit that's been launched against him for $20 million. So there is so many things to talk about. But you know what? Let's bring up Wayne Harris and let whatever he wants to chat about, we will follow. But before we go any further, happy birthday, Harris.
Hey, happy birthday.
Belated happy birthday.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning.
It's Leo season, boys. Leo season. All the Leos are out there doing our thing.
Oh, nice. My brother's birthday was yesterday. So, yeah.
Okay, 31st. Nice. I love it.
Yeah. And how did you celebrate your birthday?
You know how I do. Food. So we had the families, the kids came back from where they were, and my sister is in town. Shout out to Dr. Heather Harris, and she's here. So we got some food from one of our local places that kind of my cheers here in Mississauga.
Oh, nice. Yes.
For Italian food. And had some ossobuco, which is my jam.
Oh.
Yeah, with so soft and tender and the bone marrow. Beautiful. So they do a great job with that. And then a little bit of tiramisu, because you got to have tiramisu if you go into an Italian restaurant.
Oh.
And as you know, I am now in my dry season, so no more alcohol. So usually I would have a nice big bold red with my meal, but no alcohol. Keeping that blood pressure at 124/74. Let's go.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. how, if at all, this birthday is different than any others, if it is?
Um, this is really a level up birthday for me. I think this is going to be and has been one of my best years ever from a physical perspective and from a financial perspective.
Mm.
I've turned a corner. I've kind of hacked my life and figured out what I need to do, what I need to add, and what I need to take away, and actively taking motions to do what I do best only and outsource the rest.
Was there something that stands out that you realized is your superpower that you leaned into to just focus on that?
100%. If I'm client facing, that's my superpower.
Wow.
All the paperwork and all the administrivia that goes with that is not my superpower. So you can work on your business, which is going out and meeting people. I'll talk about something in a second. I was at the 100 Strong graduation last night.
Oh,
So
nice.
you can be working on your business, going out and meeting people and doing the financial needs analysis and seeing where they're at and showing them strategy to move forward. And then there's all the paperwork and calling the insurance companies, the investment firms, and making sure the transfers of the money. No.
Gotcha.
It's over for this guy. I'm done. And I have my trusty assistant to help me with that.
Nice.
And my wife, because she's awesome.
Oh, nice. Yes.
And, admin is kind of her superpower. She organizes stuff. Like we go on vacation, I pack my toothbrush, some brief, and I'm ready to go. And she's got the freaking, the mosquito spray, the Gold Bond for the mosquito bites. She's got all the all the Band-Aids, everything.
Doing.
So her bag is like all these toiletries and all the things that we know we need. And just miraculously, when I get to my destination, all that stuff is there. Kind of nice.
Gotcha.
But if I went there, buddy, we'd be dead in like 2 days because we're like, where's the deodorant? I didn't know. Where's the toothpaste?
The convenience store in the hotel in business.
Yeah, for like $1 billion for a 50 milliliter Colgate or whatever. Yeah.
All right. Before we go any further, Fitness IQ Cam is updating us. So the Jerk Fest is August 8th to August 10th at Centennial Park. And she also says, happy belated birthday, Mr. Harris. And also, Office of Tim Frey says, hello, good morning, Tim Frey. Actually had a nice catch-up chat with Tim yesterday. And next Friday, we have someone coming on that he has brought to the platform talking about food insecurity in the GTA. So that is coming up next Friday. Wayne, there are when we communicated via email this week, there were so many different things you put on the table to chat about. I thought the one that was most viable was about the people over 45, but if you want to talk about something specific, you have the table. So what would you like to chat about today?
All right, let's first talk about the 100 Strong graduation, which was at University of Toronto School, which I've never been to, but they have a black vice principal or deputy principal there. Gotcha. I met her because the first time I've been in that area, Spadina and Bloor, for years, but that school there, I didn't know what it was, but it's University of Toronto School. Gotcha. It is a fantastic private school right here in the heart of the city, and kids come from as far as Hamilton on the GO train every morning to go to school.
Wow.
So yesterday they had 3 cohorts or 4 cohorts. They had a Durham cohort for the boys. They had the standard Toronto, Regent Park, downtown Toronto cohort. They had a Peel cohort, and now they have a Halton cohort. It was almost 100 boys. Nice. It's incredible.
Whoa.
So Justice Donald McLeod was hosting on the mic, and Ainsworth Morgan was there as well, 2 of the co-founders, and Andrew Bromfield, also one of the directors.
Shout out to Andrew.
Andrew and Marlon Reed was there as well.
Oh, we have some big hitters.
Yeah. And then my main man in the movie, Sutherland, was there as well.
Oh, Sutherland?
Yes.
Wow, very nice.
So good to catch up. Good to see what they're doing. The venue was fantastic, central. Everybody who came from anywhere outside the GTA took an hour and a half to get there. Right? I left home. I left home at 5:03 and got as far as Kipling. Parked my car and took the train, which dropped me at Spadina Metro. Sorry, Metro Montreal, Spadina Subway, and I just walked to the school, which was fantastic. Now, usually I don't go on the subway, especially now since the bedbug gate.
Yes.
Oh my god! I didn't even hear about that.
I didn't sit down, bro. I was standing, by the door. I didn't sit down. I looked at those seats, said they look so comfortable, but I'm not doing it. So that was great to see. The boys, they do something now which you and Ryan would love. They do a pitch competition, which each of the three cohorts will pick a team that won their cohort, and then they battle out on stage. And so they had some great ideas. They had an app that would scan Black people's skin and tell you what you need to do from a supplementation point of view, or from a lotion or vitamin point of view, to improve your skin. Another group did services in the Black community, so basically a hub, kind of like a Buy Blacks, but for younger people. So they would be able to find all the resources that were Black owned and operated. These kids, one kid got up, his entire team didn't show up. So he got up on stage and did the entire presentation by himself and did not look at the slides. Unbelievable. And he, when I say articulate, unbelievable what these kids were putting together. So I was really, really impressed.
That's excellent.
Well, producer Matt says, bed bugs on a train? Yes. There are bed bugs on many TTC trains.
That's wild.
100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
No, well, like for me, I can't tell you the last time I've taken a subway, and even crazier, I can't tell you the last time I've taken a GO train. Like, I'm just not there.
When I saw these three young girls, they must have worked a really, really long shift. They were all itty bitty, like 5'1", 5 feet, and they got on the train. They sat down, two in the chairs facing where the direction the train's going, and there were 3 chairs there that I would not sit on because of the bed bugs. And this lady came in. She was so small, she put her knapsack on her friend's lap, put her head down, and stretched her legs out with her shoes and all on the chairs, and took up all 3 seats and just slept on her way to Kipling. I'm like, this is why I don't do general population transit. Right? They shouldn't call it public transit. It's general population transit.
Fitness IQ can goes Ross.
Yeah, so it was not a good look, but in terms of the sketchiness of the TTC, wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Being 6'2" and over 200 pounds and can look menacing helps, but I don't know if I was a 5'1" woman at that time, and I don't know if I would want to be going down into the tunnel to go do that.
So in your train, they didn't have the buffet. Nobody brought food to serve.
Usually they.
Did you hear about that? The lady brought a whole spread. She cooked at home and brought like a whole catered lunch. And was
So not, you see, that would cause me to do a Taco Bell, run for the border or run your belly, because you have no idea what's in that food.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
Yes.
I've seen these YouTube videos where people are cooking, and they take the spoon out of the pot and feed their dog, and then put it back in the pot and continue cooking.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can't eat from everybody. That's all I'm saying to you.
The one I can't understand is when they'll open the pack of chicken and throw the chicken right into the pot.
100%.
Wait a minute. There's a step we missed here. Like people
just lime and salt and vinegar, buddy.
Yo, they just throw it straight in, like slimy and everything. I was like,
buddy, they've been telling us now for a couple of years. I think Brandon Gomez said that there's a holy war between wash your chicken, don't wash your chicken, because of the spread of salmonella on the counter and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I listen, every time you go eat fast food chicken at any fast food place, I guarantee you the chicken is not washed.
Okay. Oh boy.
Wow.
Think about it, because you're putting this thing into a deep fryer, and whatever was alive before it went in that deep fryer is done when it comes out. So this is the logic behind not washing the chicken. It kills everything in the oil. Or if you bake it beyond a certain temperature, any microbe that was on there is done if it's cooked thoroughly. So I think our West Indian proclivities. Donald McLeod said a nice joke, because some of the boys, believe it or not, after 4 weeks of learning about excellence without excuses, these boys are acting up with their energy because they hadn't seen each other's cohorts, other than on the road trips. So now they're together, and their energy is up. He's asking these boys to sit down for 2 hours, and he says, "Listen, my mother got her degree from Bam Bam University, and she got a BELT as a diploma." Boy, everybody in the crowd was bursting out laughing, because these boys are being raised, I would have to say, hands-free, which is great if you get the same result as Bam Bam University. But not so much if you don't. So this is a holy war debate as well. Do you touch your kids for discipline, or do you leave them alone? I remember saying to my daughter when she was about 4 years old, I said, "You need to stop that, otherwise I'm going to have to give you a couple of lashes there." And she's like, "Daddy, you don't hit us.
Wow.
You don't hit us."
You see?
And she came and she hugged me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't. And things have worked out pretty well for my kids. So I know that hands-free parenting is possible. Discipline-free parenting is not.
Right.
Hands-free is the new normal for our family generations going forward. That cycle is broken.
All right. Producer Matt says, "I will say, though, as someone who doesn't actively visit Toronto, it's nice to be able to get from one side of the city to the other side by just getting on a big metal tube that travels underground." Event promotion says, "What train was the buffet on?"
Well, TTC, but I don't know what day it was, but yeah.
And also, producer Matt says, "Belt? That sounds good paired with a side of fries."
Nice.
And Frequency of Emotion goes, #belt. All right, we got up with that. What's up next, Mr. Harris? I have to chat with you about. I want to talk about a lovely subject about being 45, like finding good paying work over the age of 45 as a person of color. I love this topic.
Yeah, this comes from lived experience. Like, both you and Ryan have been entrepreneurs for a while. I didn't figure it out until I was, 50. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. It was a matter of what was I going to do to make as much as I was making, even with the taxes I was paying. Because I was in a 53.53% tax bracket before I left industry. And that's the highest tax bracket in Ontario.
Yep.
And you can go to the E&Y tax calculator and put in 2024 or 2025 and see what your income would be and what the tax would be, at least from a federal perspective. And it will show you what your take home will be. And I do that every time for my clients, because they'll say, "I don't need to do anything with you." I say, "Okay, what did you make last year? What was your T4? So let's go to the E&Y tax calculator." And I show them the number, and the number starts with a 1. That's a 6-figure haircut every year. I said, "By the way, you're going to get better, and your reward will be even more taxes." So when I looked at my income, 53.53% in income tax, then I had to pay property tax, then I had to pay school tax, then I had to pay water tax, then I pay HST on everything. I was probably coming up to almost 65% all in. I got to run my entire family on 35% of my income. And I'm doing 100% of the work. I'm traveling to Texas. I'm traveling to Vancouver. I'm doing the PowerPoints. I'm doing the RFP responses. But your boy, I won't say it's Carney, because he wasn't there, but your boy Trudeau was there, and he was taking 65% of my income, and he did nothing for it other than provide me with parks and some highways full of potholes. So I, as someone who, it was making that kind of money, I understand that taxes are for the common good, help for the hospitals and the roads and the street lights and all these things that I benefit from that I don't actively pay for. But holy man, there's got to be a way for us to get these services to the populace without giving people a greater than 50% haircut on their income. And I think this should be in our Constitution, that if the government can't get it done on 40% or less taxes, they need to cut spending.
Right.
Right?
You can't have unlimited spending or printing of money, because you're seeing the inflation result of that. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, being over 45 and getting laid off. So this when it happens to people, everybody says the same thing. I see people's LinkedIn's light up, right? As soon as they get laid off. Before they get laid off, no one's on LinkedIn. They have no time for LinkedIn. They're too busy working.
Gotcha. Yes.
Right? And as soon as they get laid off, I get an inbox. Hey, Wayne, I just got packaged out, and I know you know a lot of people, and and I'm looking. I'm like, listen, if you didn't know me when you were making money, couldn't buy me an oxtail when you were working, right? I can't get a cola champagne from you or a cocoa bun, nothing when you're working. But as soon as you're laid off, I'm the first person you're calling. What did Jamaica say? Bun fire upon that. I'm not your guy. I'm like, you know what? It sucks. I don't say sucks to be you. I'm empathetic. I say, it's tough. Yes. And then I'll say to them, hey, did you get a package? Did you get a package? So they're calling me to get work, right? Okay. Did you get a package? Yeah, I got a package. So what are you doing with it? Well, I'm running it myself. Do you know what I do for a living? You know how I feed my family?
Right.
So you just got a package, a significant one. This is what I do for a living. You want me to help you get work so you can give that money to another advisor. What? Yeah, what? They don't even see the logic in it.
Right.
They miss it. They blow right past the stop sign. And I just say, yeah, I'll get right on that. Okay, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. When you're over 45 and you're working in any industry, there's a good chance that your boss could be younger than you.
Yes.
Right? Your immediate supervisor could be in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, MBA, papered up with CPA and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And they just happen to have more managerial experience than you. And now you are older than them. You're the OG. They could go to you. But are you a threat? Because you forgot more than they know, right? And this is a problem. So now you're 45 years old. You can do your job in your sleep. You don't need any coaching, you think. You don't need any mentoring, you think, because this person just got into the industry 5 years ago. You've been doing it for 15, 20 years. What are they going to teach you? What are they going to teach you how to stay employed? Because the first rule of Fight Club is there is no Fight Club, but in work, the first rule is make your boss look good.
Yep.
And rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1.
Don't outshine the leader.
Right. So now these prima donnas come in there and they can do the work in their sleep, and they think they're adding value by being lone rangers in what the manager wants to be a posse.
Gotcha.
So it hurts them. So let's look at it this way. So age bias and stereotypes. People think you're set in your ways in your 40s. People think you are uncoachable in your 40s. And you're kind of hardwired to, I won't lie. In my 40s, you had to come to me with some serious kung fu for me to change what I was doing, because I was successful in doing it. And you hadn't done what I was doing for 20 years. You had done it for 5, but because you were at the same golf club as the owner of the company, or play hockey in the same league, or have a cottage on the same lake, you're my boss. And no disrespect for you, get it how you get it, right? Because I know if I'm in that position, I'm going to take care of my people, so I can't hate on them for taking care of their people, and that's fine.
Right.
But game's got to respect game. The other thing I notice is you can blow the dust off the LinkedIn profiles of these people in 40 and above. They haven't taken a course since Jesus was a baby.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? No upgrading. You see nothing about AI, nothing about all the things they should be doing in their industry. They don't attend anything.
Right.
They don't go to anything. They have their paper that they got from whatever university back in the day, and that's an inoculation from growth. It's weird to me. And when you say to them, listen, you got to do what I did yesterday. You got to get in your car, go to Kipling, park at Farm Boy, and drive your car downtown. Take the subway downtown to go to an event that will put you in a position to meet people that might be able to change the game for you. You don't know which conversation, who someone is going to introduce you. Justice McLeod can introduce you to your next boss, because the boss loves Donald McLeod and Donald loves you. And they go, oh, you know the judge like this? What do you do? Yeah, we're looking for that. Call this person. And just like that, 200 resumes on Indeed, 200 applications on LinkedIn. But you went downtown and Justice McLeod looked at you and introduced you to who you need to talk to. And like that is done. Right?
And that's where LinkedIn is so powerful for making those connections and build, like you're saying, using it to actually build relationship that you can stay in touch with people while things are good. Like, you don't just wait till things fall apart to try and patch up a short-term, quick relationship. It's like
people trying to learn how to swim when they're drowning.
Right.
Yeah, right. Just want to interrupt here. Some updated comments. Producer Matt says, good question. Is being in a high tax bracket bad? Sorry if that's a dumb question. That's not a dumb question.
No, great question. Because if you're in a high tax bracket, that means you're balling out. You're doing okay. Doctors are in high tax brackets. Anyone who has a T4 job. So if you're a lawyer but you're working for a law firm, you have T4 income, you're going to pay max tax. There's only a couple of things you can do to reduce that burden, and many of those things were taken away a few years ago, like income splitting. So you have a doctor, and she's a neurosurgeon at Sick Kids, and her husband's a stay-at-home dad. She would be able to income split, and $500,000 will become $250,000 each. Can't do that anymore. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
Not as a T4 employee. There's things you can do as self-employed that you can do those things with. But as a T4 employee, you only have one option. Option number one, pay maximum taxes, smile, and do it again every year until you retire. 2, you have the RRSP, and you have the spousal RRSP. So if you have a spouse that's younger than you, they're going to turn 71 a few years later. You can spousal RRSP them. They will own the asset with a 60% divorce rate. That's it is what it is. But they will own the asset, but you will get the tax deduction.
Gotcha.
Because you're hiring them. So you can add more. So if your maximum amount of money you could put into an RSP was $20,000, but you have the spousal option, you could actually top up that in the spousal option and keep the tax deduction for yourself. So Matthew, making more money is always a good thing as long as you have strategies to mitigate the tax burden. Okay. And one of those things is having a secondary income that is a small business that you can run, so you can make some money, but also have the tax advantages of being in business for yourself. So full-time, do whatever you do, but part-time, do something for yourself, and the government will treat you a little more fairly.
All right. Frequency of Event Pro says, I'm on the edge of my seat without oxtail. Looking forward to hearing more about today's topic. Hashtag I'm locked in. BM
I love it.
BM says, at this age, your boss and your whole team can be younger. Add in a rapidly changing workplace, and it's stressful. Wayne says, Frequency of Event Promotion says, Wayne, you are hitting the right chord. Networking and upgrading of skills is paramount. And he also says, hashtag pulse check.
100%.
So there's like people now that are, like you're saying, in that age range, and now having younger bosses that are forcing AI on them, and they're resistant. Like, what are your thoughts around AI becoming commonplace in the workplace, but people haven't really taken time to learn about it or engage with it, and now they're being forced to use it?
Yep. Every generation has their AI. There were people who had the home phone and wouldn't get a cell phone from Cantel. Right? Shout out to Cantel. That's how old I am. Right? There were people who refused to send faxes and were sending snail mail. There were people who refused to use the internet and were picking up the phone.
Yep.
And there are people who refuse to use a computer and still using typewriters. There's always going to be disruption. So AI is the latest disruption, and it's adapt or die. There's a TV show that I used to love called Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an enemy in space that used to go around in this Rubik's Cube called the Borg. And the Borg would land on your ship. And when the Borg landed on your ship, you shoot the Borg died. But the second Borg that came down leveled up from the last Borg. And when you shot, they put up their shield and they shoot you back and kill you. People need to know AI is a Borg. And AI is going to level up every 6 months. I mean, I think Moore's Law is the power of the technology is going to double in 2 years, and the price is going to go down in half. Remember buying a 386 computer with a coprocessor, math coprocessor? Then the 486 came out. We went from i3, i5, i7, i9, i10, i11 chips with Intel. Right, things are going to keep going. So when you're 45 and you say you're going to mail it in and you're not going to upgrade, hey, maybe a government job is for you. No shade to the government, but maybe that's what you need to do at one of the 3 levels of government to protect yourself with a union from what you know you should do. But if you're going to be in the private sector, this is the Wild West.
Right.
Those of us who are in the private sector, there are different rules. So you can't play the government, I'm not going to upgrade, I'm just going to mail it in for 30 years. And again, people are going to say, Wayne, you're disrespecting government jobs. Listen, defined benefit pensions, great benefits, government. Go for it. But are you telling me you're going to get cutting edge technology and cutting edge systems from the government, or are you going to get it from the private sector? Right. I would think the private sector. So I want you to put yourself. I want you to put yourself in position to be ready to go somewhere else with your skills and the new skills you adopted at that company, so you can make more money and be of more value somewhere else if your company doesn't like you. But honest to God, you should never be blindsided by a layoff. You should know there's, my analogy is, I want you to think of a velvet cloth, a velvet sheath, right? And inside the sheath, you open it up, it's purple, right? It's like velvet, nice, rich purple. And inside there are arrows, okay? Every arrow, like Hawkeye, has a special purpose. This is the arrow of cultural awareness. This is the arrow of emotional intelligence. This is the arrow of leadership. This is the arrow of teamwork and collaboration. This is the arrow of understanding AI. And you have all these different arrows. The employer has a sheath, and their sheath is red. And inside there, they have all these arrows that you have. And then they have a few more that you don't have. You look at those arrows and go, those 3 arrows, maybe it's AI. Maybe it's social media management. Maybe it's understanding algorithms for digital advertising, whatever it is. But you don't have those 3 arrows. You have everyone else. All the others are the same, but you don't have these 3. If you go to a job and they have the same arrows as you, you're there for the money. Because you're not going to learn anything. You came with what you need.
Gotcha.
But if you go there and you open up your arrows and you look at theirs and they got 3 or 4 that you don't have and they're willing to pay you, I'm there for those 3 arrows. Yeah. Because now I'm going to add them to my 11. Yeah. I just leveled up and I got paid to do so. I'm excited. So my entire career was about looking at their arrows, have in mind, and if the gap was there and they were willing to pay me more money, it's a double win. But if they're willing to pay me less or the same, but I was going to get those 3 arrows, I'm out, bro. Because I want those arrows more than I want the money. Because the money will come if you have the arrows. So I think people over 45 forget about this or don't know this. Yeah. And in Canada, they say, listen, these are the 5 things we want from you. This is what your resume has to have. This is what we want. This is what you have to have. And if you do this, in Canada, they will give you more money. They're not about to give you arrows. They want you coming with everything they need because they don't want to train.
Okay.
So if they don't want to train and you're not upgrading, who's going to get left on the bubble when layoffs come?
Okay. Good stuff. Catch up on some comments, and then Ryan's going to do his Detailing Nights giveaway before the top of the hour. Macmillan Group. Good morning, Macmillan Group. Had a great, quick conversation with you yesterday saying, good morning, gentlemen. To answer Matt's question, if I may, the ideal net income report is what you need to qualify for any borrowing over the next 5 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 100%. Because if you are, some entrepreneurs will take a very low salary because they want to pay low tax, but then now they have to qualify for their mortgage. Oops, you don't have enough income. So you have to think about, if I'm going to be renewing my mortgage, I need to have enough income over, Ray saying 5 years, and this is his game. I would say at least the 2 years coming up, at a minimum, the 2 years coming up to renewing the mortgage, your income better be significant enough to carry it. Because if you want to switch lending institutions because someone's giving you a better deal, they're going to ask for the last 2 years.
Yep.
Ray, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Producer Matt says AI is cool, and I'm excited to see it grow to better help humanity. But when it hurts human creativity and ingenuity, that's when I'm not a fan.
Mm.
Yeah. So someone's going to have to define creativity and ingenuity, because AI is a duplicator of human intervention. Sorry, human invention. AI doesn't invent. You have to give it what it needs, and then it will take what you had and iterate on that. So think about the Japanese. The Americans say they invented the car, but today the best car on the planet from a reliability and point of view is Lexus and Toyota, right? Lexus and Toyota did not invent the car. Ford invented the car. But, all right, so Lexus and Toyota are number one. Why? Because they took lessons from Ford and made it better. Kaizen, continuous improvement. That's what the Japanese do.
Well,
that's why them and the Chinese are winning.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Wayne, that's what we should all be doing individually with ourselves.
I agree 100%, Doctor. If August 1st, 2025, Wayne, is no better than August 1st, 2024, Wayne, something went wrong, gravely wrong in the last 12 months.
100%.
And sometimes you have the self-awareness and self-reflection to know where you've grown, but sometimes you don't. And that's why mentorship comes into play. You have to have somebody who saw you in August of last year, saw you this year, and see that you're operating at a different frequency. And maybe they tell you, maybe they don't, but usually your results will tell you, because how I'm winning in August is based on what I did in March, April, not what I did last week or yesterday. It's what I did last quarter. I planted the seeds last quarter for the seeds to harvest in this quarter. And now the seeds I'm planting in July and August, September, will harvest for the end of the year, because I know my rhythm of my business. Now, the reason I hated my job was because the rhythm of the business was a 1-year closing cycle. Brian, imagine it. Imagine. Yeah. Can you imagine? So I'm selling software. I'm selling millions of dollars of software. And I have to talk to 12 to 15 people every month for 12 months to get this thing over the line. And at the end of the year, I got my commission, and it was significant. And I'd be like, I did not enjoy that. Right. I didn't know why I didn't like it. It just took too long.
There you go.
Right? It took too long. So imagine, Ryan, you sell a package for detailing, and you don't detail the car for a year.
Right.
What? It was too long.
That's hard to,
All right, Brian.
Crazy.
I got permission to interrupt, Brian. It's time to get your giveaway. So, producer Matt, if you can put the giveaway screen up.
Sounds good. And again, thank you to those that have joined the Detailing Nights Birthday Club. For those that do not know what it is, the Birthday Club is a way for you to get special perks on during your birthday week. So you get special pricing and sometimes special gifts. So you can go to detailingnights.ca/birthday club, sign up. And when you do sign up, you're also entered into our weekly draw. So the weekly draw takes place right here on the Morning Vibe. So you get your name added in, and we are going to spin. And congratulations to last week's winner, Shireen. We were able to detail her car, so those pictures are going to be posted soon, and we shall see who we are detailing this week.
Nice. I should get one for being on the show. No.
So who's that? Navdeep. All right, I'm recording this, so we are going to reach out. We'll email, text, and I'll call you to schedule in your free car wash. Looking forward to seeing you, and stay tuned to our Instagram, our LinkedIn, and our Facebook with Detailing Nights to see the pictures and hopefully some smiles and some beautiful cars coming Navdeep's way.
All right. Thank you for doing the giveaway. We can take it down, put up some more comments. So we've got the Macmillan Group. Working with your financial team is paramount to determining that number. CPA, financial advisor, mortgage professional. Dr. Tachi says, good day all. Producer Matt says, that's good to know, Macmillan Group Mortgage and Real Estate. Thank you for raised comments. David Hughes from Australia, welcome. He says, so sorry I've been traveling and I have missed you all. Soon I will tune back in. No problem. Good to always have you when you have time. Dr. Tachi says, it's interesting what happens to a company when they rest on the laurels of being first then rather than being the best.
Gotcha.
Lexus and Toyota didn't need to be first because they are the best. I love that. Don't be the first. Fitness IQ Camp says, congratulations, Nadeep. Freakin says also congratulations. Dr. Tati says congratulations also. Ryan, you probably want to jump, correct?
Yes, always good seeing you, Wayne. We shall talk soon, Dr. Vibe.
All right.
See you on the road, Ryan. See you on the road.
Yes,
right. Good stuff. So, Wayne, I'm going to go in now with some questions. Go really in on some questions right now. So, first things first. How can job seekers address or overcome ageism or racial bias in the hiring process?
Yeah, great question. They need to show that they are Kaizen, continuous learning. Your LinkedIn should be littered with, hi, I just completed this certification from Harvard. Hi, I just completed this certification from LinkedIn. Hi, I just took this course. Hi, I just attended the so-and-so show. You want to show potential employers that you're trying to maintain and sustain your relevancy, right? Even electricians and anybody in the trades has to upgrade every year, find out what the new techniques are, find out what the new codes are. You know, last year you could do this year it's illegal. Same thing with accounting. Last year the tax rules were A, now the tax rules are B. Listen, if you were a CPA before 2008, you didn't upgrade your skills, you wouldn't even know there's a TFSA. Let's say you upgraded your skills and you stop upgrading in 2023, you wouldn't know there's a first-time homeowner savings account. Things change. You have to know that you're changing. The other thing I see is when I go and take a look at their LinkedIn, they're saying, you know, class of 1984, Woburn. It's 2025, bro. Why is Woburn on your
resume,
on your LinkedIn
or your profile
or on your resume? The other thing people do is they believe that the one resume fits all. So, I'm going to make a resume, and this resume I can send to all the companies, regardless of what they said their key words are and their key needs are. I'm going to use my words, not their words, send out my generic resume with my home address, which is a no-no, right? Because people just use Google Earth and figure out how you're living and where you're living, and if they want to hire you because you live there, they can pay you less, or because you live there, they can pay you more. They never want to pay more, so they're always going to use that against you. Plus, if I'm a person from a vulnerable community, why would I want anyone other than the hiring manager when I'm hired to know where I live? Right? If you live at one of the 19 high-risk neighborhoods and you have done all the right things, you've gone to university and everything, but they see a certain street name, they are going to assume stereotypically that you're of that mindset, and they dismiss you. So why would you ever give them another opportunity? So I want you to ensure that you're always upgrading. If you're not taking courses annually, then I need you to read or post that you've read something in your industry or you've gone somewhere in your industry and post that so people know that you're staying and maintaining what you're doing. Cars need maintenance. Careers need maintenance. Car needs oil change. You need an oil change, right?
Okay. All right. Frequency, a frequency event promotion says, does anyone know the breakdown of the word Lexus? I don't.
Yeah. Lexus, luxury for the U.S. market.
There you go. Fitness IQ Cam goes certification and designation. Got it. Food Plane is in the house, says hello, Dr. Vibe and Wayne. Good to see you. He also says hello to Dr. Tachi. He has a question for you. Wayne, how do you recommend someone start building wealth if on a modest income, especially if they're starting in their 30s or 40s? Good question.
Fantastic.
Good question.
Good question. If you are, you need to have what I consider to be FU money. FU money means you have 6 months to 12 months in an emergency fund sitting there, right? So if you get laid off, you're not scrambling and going right into debt immediately. You have that money set aside. Some people were saying 3 months. Since COVID, a minimum of 6 months. And if you can get 12 months, even better. This is something that's invested in a very low risk fund. You're making money, you're beating inflation, but your job is not to make a whole lot of money on this money. This money needs to be available if the transmission dies. If someone dies back home and you need to get down there for a funeral, you're not going into debt and going into credit card debt immediately. You're going to use this money first. So if you're in your 30s and 40s and you haven't started saving, the best time to save was 10, 15 years ago. The next best time is today. So you're going to talk to your friendly neighborhood, bald, bespectacled, bearded, Bajan financial advisor, and we're going to set up a plan where you're going to do something called DCA, dollar cost averaging. And we're going to look at your risk tolerance, how much risk you want to take, and when you're going to need the money. We're going to do the analysis, and we're going to put some money away every month automatically before you even touch it. Before you go buy Oxtail, before you buy Tim Hortons, that money's gone out of your account and going into this investment. And we're going to run it at your risk tolerance, and we're going to leave it alone to cook.
Nice analogy. Playing. He's just chef. So good word to use.
Yeah. Compound interest will take care of the rest. We're going to inspect it. Could be quarterly, could be semi-annually, could be annually, depending on how aggressive you are and what's going on with the largest capital markets in the world, which is the United States. So there's a lot of volatility there. So if you can't sleep at night with certain volatility, we're going to dial down your risk tolerance. Just dial it down. There's certain things that are going to return 5 to 7%, regardless of what's going on out there, if we balance it and diversify it properly, and we don't have all our eggs in the U.S. basket. There's a lot of world out there that you can invest in, and a lot of industries there that are not dominated by the U.S. U.S. happens to be the largest capital market, one of the most profitable markets, but you don't have to be there. You can be anywhere else. If you're getting 5 to 7% returns, you can do that anywhere else. But you need to start now. And you need to be consistent. It can't be when you feel like it. It has to be like going to the gym. You got to put $100, $200, $1,000 in every month, like going to the gym, and it will show you the gains. They talk about gains in the market, talk about gains in the gym. Same thing. You don't get gains when you go to the gym when you feel like it. You don't make money in the market when you invest when you feel like it. Consistent investment in good things that make sense over time will build your portfolio. So by the time you're my age, 1 year away from my seniors discount at Shoppers, you will be able to have some money for you to do some things while you're still young enough to enjoy them.
Good question.
Good question.
Food Plane, another question. What are some underrated habits that can really change someone's trajectory over time? And I also would especially we were talking about people in their 40s and 50s, what are some underrated financial habits that can change someone's trajectory over time, or where they're in the 40 plus bracket?
Yeah, no matter what you make, live as if you're making $50,000 a year. I don't care what you make. You could buy that BMW, buy the Toyota. You could buy that big 5-bedroom house, buy that 3-bedroom house in the best neighborhood at the best price, right? You want to live below your means because rainy days will come. And when the rainy days come, you do not want to go immediately into debt. You want to get rid of any non-mandatory expense. So if you normally buy Tim Hortons, get yourself to Costco and get an espresso machine Go buy your Nespresso pucks at Costco and make your own coffee and carry it to the traveler and save yourself dollars. Doesn't seem like a lot, but like everything, it compounds. So I want you to get out of all revolving debt. You got credit card debt, you got home equity lines of credit, you have lines of credit, you have anything, car payments. You want to get rid of all debt. That's a habit. 2, you want to live below your means. No matter how, you get a raise at work, do not change your lifestyle. Don't go from Nike to Louis Vuitton because you got a raise. Stay with Nike. Good product, good quality. Don't get caught up in that. Don't raise your expense level when your income goes up. Expenses stay here, income goes up, expenses stay here. You're going to win over time. And automatic investing, underrated but undefeated. 100, 200, 250 a month into a diverse portfolio and let it cook. And when you turn 65, you'll go, wow, I'm glad I tuned in August 1st, 2025 with Wayne, because now it's 2045 and this thing has doubled every 6 years. The rule of 72 says if you take the number 72 and divide it by the rate of return, the money will double during that time. So if you get a 6% return on your money because you're conservative, 72 divided by 6 is 12 years. That means every 12 years the money will double. So 24 years from now, whatever you gave me will have doubled twice.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay, just to check out people who are watching the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, top 3 contribution comment people right now. Producer Matt, Dr. Tachi, and the Food Plane. Also, want to catch up on some comments here. Frequency of Information says luxury exported to the U.S. Yep, Lexus. Dr. Tachi says hello to Food Plane. Food Plane says great advice Wayne is giving. Also, another good, if you like questions, Food Plane is in, Wayne. He is in. He's going, what career fields or skills do you see as recession proof over the next 5 to 10 years?
Good question. So we know there's a demographic shift that we're in right now. So the demographic shift started in 1946 at the advent of the baby boomers after World War II. There's millions of these people running around, born between 1946 and 1964. I look like a boomer, but I'm not a boomer. I'm Generation X. Now, as a boomer, those people turned 65 in 2011. Okay, so they started the retirement run. Most people, on average, live to 85. Well, if you started retiring at 65 in 2011, in 2021 you're 75, in 2031 you're 85. The largest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind has started in 2011 and basically will end in 2031. That means the next 5 years, wealth is going to transfer from grandparents to grandchildren and to children. And if they don't know what they're doing, they're going to pay maximum tax. And it's not in the government's best interest for them to educate them on how to do that. That's why you need your friendly, bald, Bajan, bespectacled, bearded financial advisor to show you what to do with that money. To be recession proof, you need to have something that has what we call inelastic demand. So no matter what the price of gas is, people fill their car. For people who drink milk, no matter what the price of milk is, they buy milk. No matter what the price of bread is, they buy bread. No matter what the price of the TTC is, they take the TTC because it's inelastic demand. It doesn't depend on whether the market is in recession or in boom. In growth, they have to do these things. So you want to find your career in places where there's inelastic demand. That's why plumbers don't care if there's a recession. Because when your pipe's leaking, you'll find the money.
Yep.
Right? Electricians, you have no electricity in your house, you will find the money. HVAC, on a month like this July, your HVAC dies, you will find the money. Inelastic demand. So things that don't care whether we're in growth or we're in recession, these are the things you do. That's why doctors love being doctors. They want to help people and all that. But doctors, an OHIP card is undefeated. It's inelastic demand. Nurses, same thing. But guess what? When you have a demographic shift, anything that's going to support Generation X and Boomer and Pre-Boomer is where you need to position your boat and go in that direction. Why? Because seniors' homes, senior care, you see the number of PSWs that we need to support these seniors?
And it's It's only going to get bigger.
And it's only going to get bigger. We're going to have so many people over the age of 65 in a few years that anything, dropping people to and from doctor's appointments, being an advocate for someone when they go to the doctor, because old people, they go to the doctor, whatever the doctor says goes. But what if there was a program where you could have someone who's super smart go in there and ask the doctor, so why exactly you're doing that, doctor? And have the right to ask the question, right? It's called a power of attorney. Sometimes a power of attorney for health. We need services to help the seniors get the best quality of life for whatever time they have left. We also need people who can help them get that money out of harm's way. And what I mean by harm's way is the money's not beating inflation and the money is not beating um, taxes. So anybody who can help them make more than inflation and avoid unnecessary tax is going to win, which is why I'm in this industry. After 30 years of cybersecurity, they say, why are you doing this? Because I'm going where the puck is going, as Wayne Gretzky would say.
Yep.
Every day I talk to someone who doesn't know what I take for granted. I'm sure Ray McMillan's the same. People are going to be downsizing their houses. Say, listen, I've got $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $800, $100,000 in equity in this house. It's a 4-bedroom. It's just me and my spouse. What the hell? Why am I still here? So they're going to downsize. But if they downsize, they may end up renting in Canada, where real estate is crazy, and go buy something off the reserve, so to speak. So they can go buy something in the States or go buy something in the Caribbean and stay there. So they own something, but they own it outside of Canada, right? Or they own it outside of Ontario because there's other parts of Canada that aren't as overpriced as Toronto and Vancouver. There's other geographies in Canada where you can buy a property, make money, have an equity stake, and have the ability for the price to go up over time, versus buying something right now and having it go down immediately because the market's kind of crazy now. As a realtor today in Toronto, the downsizing opportunity is a trend. It's not a fad. There, 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom houses that made sense when you were in your 40s, 50s, or 30s, 40s, and 50s because you were raising kids and putting them through university do not make sense when the winters are what they are. The grass is what it is. You have to get out there and go cut grass and play in your garden. People like that until their back hurts, till their knee hurts, till their hips hurt, till they fall a couple of times and they can't do it. Then it becomes a burden, and they need to get out of those houses. That trend is happening now. Bungalows are all the rage. No stairs to climb. Live on one level. So you want to be recession proof? Point your turret towards the senior market, the baby boomers, and Generation X, because we are going to need the services. And by the way, we can afford the services because we've been compounding since we were 18.
Good stuff. Producer Matt, can you just do me a favor? Can you put Wayne's contact information on the screen? I've shared it in all the comment sections on the platforms that we're broadcasting on. But if you can get his contact info, we can put on screen. That would be great. So it's there. So definitely get a hold of Wayne through those means: website, email, Instagram. All right. Food Play has another question.
He's on fire.
Yeah, always. So what role does mindset play in building both a career and financial freedom? And before you answer this, Wayne, I'd like you to answer it first from a person who's 45 and up, because that may be a different mindset compared to someone who's like younger. Because
right.
I'm thinking maybe two different mindsets.
There is two different mindsets, and there's more than two, but I'll start with this.
Yeah.
People under the age of 45, when they come to me, they're talking to me about asset accumulation. How do I make my money make money? Okay. People over 45 start asking me questions like, how do I make my money last for the rest of my life?
Can I just interrupt? I have your permission to interrupt?
Sure.
So it's interesting there because I was sharing with someone yesterday. One of the things I do when I'm meeting with somebody is I will ask them if they have something they want to reach. I say, okay, what does it look what does it look like when you want to do it, or when it happens? What does it look like? But I also say, what happens if you don't get what you want? Because and correct me if I'm wrong here, the person under 45, they want to accumulate, whereas many people over 45, they don't want to lose what they have.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that's normal, because, you know, if you're 25 and get laid off, you might move back home. You're 55 and you get laid off, there's no home to move back to. As Mel Robbins would say, no one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
So you need to have enough savings and enough planning already in place so you can take care of yourself and weather the storm. Listen, if you're in your 40s and 50s and you're doing what I did, you're making six figures. Getting a job today in your 50s at six figures takes, on average, and this is a rule of thumb my mentor told me back in the day, I think it still stands true. For every $10,000 in base salary you want, it takes 1 week of full-time effort of job finding. So if you want to make 100 grand, it's going to be 10 weeks before you find that job minimum. You want to make 200 grand, 20 weeks for you to find that job. Simply because at that level, in this market, there's so much competition. So people are looking for the right fit, not just a resume, the right fit. Right. And if your social skills, if your emotional intelligence skills, if your cultural skills are not on point, you're not going to get that call. Now, with DEI kind of going the way of the dodo bird, a lot of people who were sexy a few years ago are no longer sexy. Therefore, competition has gone back to, the Hunger Games, where it's every man and woman for themselves. And you really have to know what your value is and be able to articulate it on paper and when you get in front of the audience. So getting back to this question, what's the role of mindset? Two mindsets, fixed and growth. Carol Dweck, the book, I believe it's called Mindset. Fixed mindset means you know what you know, you're doing what you're doing, and they have to come and adapt to you. You're not changing. Sucks to be you in this market where the competition is high. Growth mindset says, what can I do to improve? Where are my gaps? Who can I talk to who's where I want to be? And they tell me what they're doing, and then I go and follow suit, and I should get similar results. I'm willing to pivot. I'm not panicking. But fixed mindset people say, I have done 400 resumes. I am not getting interviews. It must be racism. It must be sexism. It might be you, bro. Might be your resume has words on it from the 1990s, which are the last time you updated your resume, and you're not getting the keywords that the crawler, the robot, the AI is looking for to hire. Because you got to get past the crawler before you get to a human being. And if you're not even satisfying the crawler, you're not going to get a chance to articulate your value. So how do you beat the crawler should be your goal in life. Not how you get the job. You have to beat the crawler first, right? People are too far ahead of themselves. They're looking at checkmate. The pieces aren't even laid out on the board. Okay? So growth versus fixed mindset. Fixed mindset people, you meet them all the time. They say, yeah, this is the way I always do it. I go to work the same way. I do the same thing. I eat the same thing. I do this, and I'm not changing. And I just want to do things my way. Fixed mindset. Anything you say to them that's contrary to that is witchcraft, and they don't want to hear from you. Okay? Growth mindset. What book should I read? What course should I take? Who should I talk to? Who should I have coffee with? What networking event? How can I volunteer at an association of my peers and cohorts so I can add value put some value in the goodwill bucket before I try to extract value from the goodwill bucket? Right. Growth mindset. But there's another thing that most people don't have. And this is the third mindset. It's called heart set. And heart set means I'm connecting with you. I'm connecting with you and you're connecting with me. You can see that I have empathy for you. I care about you and you care about me. And because of that, you want me to win. It's not just about the transaction. It's about the relationship. And people who have connectedness and relationships. These are the people who wish me happy birthday on LinkedIn, Facebook, and text messaged me and called me versus the people who don't do those things, but 2 weeks from now they're going to get laid off, and then they will find my LinkedIn profile and ask me who I know. I have little time for those people.
Yeah.
But to the 300, 400 people who took the time and actively went onto the platforms that I got the birthday messages on and sent a message and typed it out, even made some things personalized, I've got time for these people.
Yeah. I just want to add on and wink and push back and how important the relational aspect is.
It is paramount. We're mammals, and mammals are social beings. And when you leave a mammal by itself, it dies. And you leave a mammal in its troop, its pack, gaggle, whatever you want to call it, it thrives because it has backup. We need backup. And when I see a lot of people who are alone and say they're lonely, I say, okay, you're alone and you're lonely. That's not great. What are you doing to change that lot in life? And the answer is nothing. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a woman. I'm looking for a man. Great. Where are you looking for them? Nowhere. I'm just hoping they're going to come to the door and choose me. What? If you want men, go where the men are. If you want women, go where the women are. If you want a job in a certain industry, go where the industry people are and volunteer so they can see how you work for free. They know you work at least as hard for money.
You go. There, key thing that Wayne said right there. Key thing. Volunteering is not a bad thing.
No.
It can open gateways. And I've know people, I'm one of them, that opened up gateways for me volunteering. So it's a very key thing. I don't want to interrupt. That was a good point.
Wow. Yeah, no, same thing, Dr. Vibe. You imagine you're a CPA and you get laid off. But the CPA Association of Toronto or the CPA Association of Ontario or the CPA Association of Canada is having an event. And that event's in Calgary, it's not in Toronto, so it's not convenient for you. But you put on your big boy pants or your big girl pants and you figure it out and you get on a plane and you put on your best suit. You have your resumes printed. Although I don't know if that's a great idea. I think LinkedIn is probably better because that's dynamic. But if you want to go with printed resumes or they tell you to bring printed resumes, you go. And you go out to Calgary and you meet the people and you say, listen, not only am I a CPA, I've been a member, active member of the association. I've held all these different roles from secretary to VP internal, VP external, president. I've done it all. They've seen you cook. They've seen you introduce guest speakers. They've seen you be a guest speaker, all for free. So now you're unemployed. They go, hey, I heard you're unemployed. Send me your documents. We have an opening. Because 80% of all jobs are by word of mouth.
Yes.
Not Indeed, not LinkedIn.
And that's right. The hidden market.
Hidden market. So if you are not depositing goodwill into your hidden market will remember. It has a very, very good memory. And it'll remember. I remember who when I was looking for work, reached out to me when they heard that I was laid off. And they said, hey, call Bob. Tell Bob I sent you. All of my roles since the beginning of me working, except for 2, were hookups.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not being hooked up, you need to ask yourself why.
100%.
And you need to read a book called Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. It's been out 25 years. I learned about it at the UFSC. A young kid told me about this book. I was like, this book is doing everything I do naturally. But he codified it in this book. Keith Ferrazzi was a former Deloitte consultant partner, and he wrote this book years ago. He did an update, but the update's not as good as the old one. This is old school informational interviews and coffee meetings with people that you want to know. And you need to do this. My mentor at IBM said to me, you need to do 5 first interviews every year. I go, 5? Why? He goes, don't go past first interview, because if you go past the first interview, you're wasting their time and your time. But the first interview is going to let you know, A, you can get an interview, B, what the market is paying.
Yep.
And what the market requires. So when you say at the end of the first interview, thank you very much, Very, very good company, very strong fundamentals. But I believe at this time, for me, it's better that I stay where I am. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We'd love to keep in touch. Add them to LinkedIn and let them see you cook. Because you're not insulting them after the first interview, but if you go all the way through the interview cycle, get to the end, and then do that, this is no bueno. But if you go to the first interview, you're gonna find out what it pays, who the manager is, what kind of win, getting market intelligence by doing
research.
I've done like 2 or 3, but still help.
Another thing I share with people, whatever age, especially if you're into sports, there's a term called free agent. If you're in the workplace, even if you're an entrepreneur looking for the next gig, you should consider yourself a free agent. If you see a better opportunity, best story I have for this, and I know, Wayne, you probably got to leave soon, but I share this every once in a while. Many, many years ago, I worked at Adidas Canada.
I remember.
All right. And I was the second Black Canadian hired in their administrative offices in their history.
Wow.
The gentleman at that time was a gentleman named Tom Wright. Great leader. When I got hired by the company, he was the last person to interview me, and he hired me. But he, at that time, had ran the Boston Marathon twice. At Adidas at that time, they had a workout facility on site. It was up in Vaughan, in Toronto.
427 and 7.
Yeah, a little bit in that. Well, no, that's where they are now. They moved from Vaughan to that location now.
Okay.
And so, for me, if I didn't leave at 4:00, it would take me if I left at 4:00, it would take me an hour and a half to get home. So a lot of times after work, I would work out.
Yeah. So
one evening I'm working out. Tom Wright's in there, comes in, starts going like a bird on the treadmill. It's just flying. And so I finish, I'm in the change room. He comes in, says, I got something I want to share with you. And he said, if you see a better opportunity career-wise in your life, go for it. And I'm going in my mind, is this man wanting to fire me? But he said, listen here. If I left Adidas Canada today, it would still run. I've never forgotten that conversation. Here's the president of a big company.
Yep.
He said, with or without me, this company is still going to go on. I have Tom Wright Inc. I'm only here for a finite amount of time.
Yep.
You go for the best opportunities, whatever age group you are. Now, again, you have to take in a lot of different factors where you are socially, economically, and all that. And here's the funny thing. A few years after that, he became president of Adidas America, which meant 5 days a week he was in the American office, and then 2 days a week on the weekends he'd come back home to visit with his family. He left after a year. I saw him after. I said, Tom, why did you leave? He says, I miss my family too much. He then became president for a time for the CFL, Canadian Football League. Mm-hmm. Great mentor. I hope that message resonated with somebody, because it's always resonated with me. Very young day, I say, especially if you're an employee, with or without you, that company's going to run.
Right.
So I just wanted to interject that story from Wayne. Do you have time for one more question? Because I know you probably got to run.
Well, let me give you. I'll do one more question, and I want to give you my top 8 to avoid. And it's for anybody, but over 45 especially. 1, I want you to update your skills and your credentials. You cannot rest on your laurels in this market. It's too competitive.
Wait. Go ahead.
Yeah. 2, modernize your resume and update your LinkedIn. I see too many people's LinkedIn looking like tumbleweed and dust. They need to update their LinkedIn and make sure they have all the key features that the HR people who are using the tool to scan LinkedIn, that you have enough keywords in your commentary that the crawler will want to interview. 3, network strategically. I'm not saying go to everything,
That's right.
Maybe not the bump and grinds, but you need to look at your industry and see where the key events are, and you need to be an active part of the key events. If you can't afford to go to the key event, call and say, I'd like to volunteer at the key event. You still get to be in the key event without having to pay, but you're doing some work. And try to be someone who is either handling the speakers or handling inside the auditorium so you get to hear whatever is being said. You don't want to be a security guard or something else at the registration table if you can avoid it. You want to be in the arena where the people are. I want you to leverage your experience, and some people discount. They're very modest, especially people who are older. They don't want to toot their own horn. You need to toot your own horn appropriately. Then you need to target age-friendly employers. Some companies love OGs. You need to know which those companies are and apply to those companies. Your job is not your identity, so do not get depressed if you can't find work. Do not get down on yourself and lose value or perceive value in yourself because you don't have a job. Your job is not your identity. You as a person are. And then consider career coaching. A lot of people want a lot of free advice because they don't have to pay for it. Maybe you need to get someone who has done what you want to do and get independent, bespoke coaching for you to get yourself to the next level. And I think if I dropped $1,000 to stop doing something that's stopping me from making $200,000, that's a good investment. And then explore new avenues. Maybe it's not for you. After 25, 30 years of cybersecurity, I liked what I did. I won't say I didn't like it. I liked what I did. But I can tell you the closing cycles are too long. I love meeting families on Saturday, talking to them on Tuesday, and then giving them a solution on Friday, and then them giving me a bunch of referrals because they love what they experience so much. They want their family and friends to do the same thing. And because that's a 2-week or maybe 1 month on the outside, I love that because the cadence and the speed of it keeps me excited. I did not know that was what was missing back when I was working enterprise consulting and sales. That's it.
Okay. Food Plane has a question, but I think Food Plane, you should contact Wayne directly. He says, where's a starting point for beginners who want to invest but don't have a lot of his CD stock, etc.? So Food Plane, I'm going to suggest that you contact Wayne directly on that because that's
Food Plane's in the States, right?
Yes, he is in the States.
Yeah, I can get him someone in the States to help him for sure.
Okay, so then some final comments here. Food Plane says this convo is fire. It's not just about making money; it's about managing and multiplying it. Mm-hmm. He says, "I'm still sexy." He says, he goes, "It might be you. Love it. So true. Like the cognitive." He says, "Cognitive dissonance."
Yep.
Frequency Event Promotion says, "Have a good long weekend. Looking forward to the Monday show." And Frequency says, "Wayne, thanks for your words of wisdom, manners, and respect." And also has hashtag bespoke membership. All right. My man, any final words before we let you go?
No, enjoy if you're in Toronto or coming in from wherever you're coming into to enjoy Caribana, be safe, have a good time. And understand this. If you're going to make changes for the rest of 2025 to improve your financial position, it's up to you, but you don't have to do it by yourself. And if you're not going to do something, then I would suggest you stop complaining because you need to take massive immediate action in order for you to have a chance of putting yourself in position to not have to depend on the government or your family when you retire. And retirement, as the Jamaicans would say, soon come. So don't play. Okay?
Absolutely, 100%. And as always, thank you, Wayne. I'm just going to add another, before Wayne leaves, another great book written a long time ago by a gentleman named John Maxwell, great writer, he said, "Everyone connects, but few communicate." Mm-hmm. Landmark book for me in my personal and professional growth, because if you're going to be out there, whatever age group you are, you got to know how to connect, not just communicate.
I'll recommend a book from Charles Duhigg, Duhigg. The book is called Super Communicators. It is excellent.
Nice. Oh, from Australia, David A. Hughes says Wayne's top 8 is gold. At 80, I am still coaching, though not looking for work.
Good.
All right. Mr. Harris, as always, to you and the family, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace, my brother.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, Dr. Vibe. Long weekend.
All right. Take care. Be well. All right. Mr. Harris has left the building. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, before we call it a day, we'd like to get some interaction. So I'd like to know if you're watching on the YouTube channel, what you thought about today's show from 1 to 5, 1 being 5 being out of bounds. Would love you to just put that in there and we could get some live feedback. So 1 to 5, I would love to hear it. All right. So we'll take that down and come back in a moment to it. So as always, let's finish up with this. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I am a part of. Please email me dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. If you want to get a hold of Ryan, there we go. Website, ryanoneilknight.com. And I always say it's Knight with a K-N, not an N. Also, LinkedIn, Ryan Oneil Knight. Instagram, Ryan at ryan.knight99. Email, workwithme at ryanoneilknight.com. Myself, you can catch me website-wise, the dr.vibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram at the dr.vibeshow, X dr.vibeshow. Email, I've said a number of times already. Also, you can catch me on Substack at drvibe.substack.com/subscribe, and on Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky social. And always, you can watch replays of this show on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook and LinkedIn, and the Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. All right, that is it. So, as I had mentioned already, we will have a Morning Vibe on Monday on the civic holiday. So if you're around, we'd love to hang out with you. And our top contributors today on YouTube, Frequency Event Promotions, Producer Matt, and Dr. Tachi. Also, if you're hanging around on the weekend, Primetime Saturday is live tomorrow at 5 p.m. and Black Canada Talking live on Sunday. So as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and always make it better. So God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith while good. And we'll catch you soon. Thanks, Producer Matt. Bye.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.